cult.
Yes.
Where you talked about bastard. And you have a great point. You know, and it is a delicious word. It truly is. It's actually one of my favorites, you know, and I
would have never thought a gay man would use the word bastard. Again, perceptions are.
Well, again, interesting. That's kind of an interesting way of looking at that particular point. I told you, I am not against, I am not for censorship. I think censorship is the decline of a civilization. I think censorship is the beginning of the end. Because if I tell you not to say this word, then you have every right not to tell me not to say this, and then eventually we're down to 50 words everybody agrees with, and we have to make it work for 50 words, and then eventually somebody will say, yeah, one of those 50 words is offensive to me, and down we go again, you know. Did you ever see the movie Fahrenheit 451?
I did. I actually saw it very recent. No, I saw the new one.
No.
I wasn't even very aware of the story had even existed.
The old one has a fantastic scene where the husband comes home, the wife gives him the newspaper, he sits down, and then the camera moves in to show you what he's looking at. And the newspaper is cartoons without words. Just cartoon. That stayed with me forever, because even when I watched it for the first time in the 80s, and it's from 68, the film, I realized, whoa, that really is the answer, unfortunately.
This full-on censorship makes humans completely obedient and aware. It destroys the free thought project. You know, I hate to use free thought in general, not free thought project. I don't even know what they represent anymore. Yes, that 1984 dystopian kind of world does perceive itself, and we're on the cusp of something like that. And I'm glad that things like this are still happening.
We're not on the cusp. We're there.
No, I don't think so yet.
I believe we are.
We got a good 5 to 10 years before. Did you ever see Idiocracy?
Yes.
We're a few years away from having Starbucks being what Starbucks meant. We have a child in here now, so I'm not going to go on to that one.
No, listen, I think we are where everything is very dangerous right now. You know, what is it? The Handmaiden's Tale?
Very impactful.
Yes.
But also now the new representation of the female movement fighting against the Republicans and all of their theatric ways.
Not just the Republicans.
Oh, yes. I agree. Yes. It's more. It means more, but that has become a symbol of some of the feminist movements and what they do.
And it's not just, what is it? What's the big one? What's the big movement? Why am I blanking out here?
The Me Too?
The Me Too, and the one, there's the time is up, the time is up, or stuff like that.
I think that one's kind of burned out because it all kind of associates under the hashtag Me Too movement. I think so. I think it's been integrated at this point. I mean, it's still
I think it was a more sophisticated version, a more intellectual version. So I'm sad to see that go, because I thought the Me Too movement is in danger right now of being kind of put in a box about, well, I need to be careful here. I enjoyed the Time Is Up one, because I thought it was an intelligent way of in a disciplined way of letting people know that you cannot treat human beings the way they have been treated. And that is not whether it's man or woman, old or young, you know, it was human beings, period. Right. And I thought that was a very, like I said, a very well put together movement.
I agree. I wasn't too familiar with it when it was coming. I know that it was really strongly spoken about at the recent award show. I think it was like last year.
I think Alyssa Milano put it together.
That was the Me Too, was Alyssa Milano.
No, Time Is Up. That's Melissa Milano.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't remember where
I could be wrong, whatever.
Who knows? We're not on our Google devices.
Okay.
Actually, I want to shift the conversation
Sure,
a little bit, because we've talked on quite a grand scheme of things. This is actually going back to kind of what you said, as you being a representative of the gay community, even though you don't say that you want to be or you don't want to be spoken for, but you are in their politics and you are in their games and you are a representative member of your community.
I am as a representative of the gay community as you are of the straight community.
Exactly.
So it's as silly as that sounds. You know?
I know how redundant it sounds, but like I said, certain people at certain statures, at certain things, are listened to more than, say, the Chick-fil-A worker who happens to be gay.
Correct.
Okay. So my question is this. This is, what do you think is the next step for the movement of bringing the whole community more to a even more socially acceptable place than it is now?
You mean the gay community?
I mean any communities for that. Well, yeah, specifically the gay community. Let's go with there.
How to make the gay community? Well,
Orlando's a comforting place, but I'm saying Mobile, Alabama might not. Like, what's next for the gay communities, do you think, in their evolution?
I can't speak for the gay community. And I have my point of view as a European gay. I have said this many times. When I look at those parades in San Francisco, not here, because the parades here are nothing like the parades in San Francisco.
We're like the softcore porn version of the hardcore versions that exist in LA.
But those parades are very offensive to me. And instead of showing presidents and teachers and lawyers and doctors on the parades, a lot of the time you will see half-naked men in chains whipping each other. Why is that representative of me? It does not represent me in any way or form. It's very offensive to me for the gay community, not all, but for a segment of the gay community to think that's an okay visual image to put. And I have been told by members of the gay community, important members, that we are celebrating our freedom to be who we really are.
And bondage plays into that. That's basically what some of that is all bondage gear.
I have to be careful with how I say this, but I think what they're saying is we can finally be free sexually to be whoever we want to be. But to me, I don't think being gay is about the sex. I think I'm gay and it's a part of me, and it is not necessarily the biggest part of me. I still am a human being, like you said, the humanity. I'm trying to fit in. I want to have a family. I want to have a job. I want to contribute. I am not obsessed with the sex thing.
Right.
But maybe that's an age thing. I am older.
I don't think so. See, I am not one of those people who hyper-sexually looks at things. Like, I know that the male brain, in what our general perception of what the male brain is, oh, I see a pretty woman, oh, I see a pretty man, I need to reproduce my seed. Like I know that's what they say about men. If you read men's health magazines or Cosmo, they'll say how the male brain is more primitive.
But who says that? It's usually women. Right.
Let's just leave bygones be bygones there. But the whole perception is not men fantasize about sex all day long. That is a whole load of bullshit. I've been thinking about this podcast more than I've been thinking about my dick. All right, let's just it's a little silly sometimes. I say what's a little rough to hear. I'm speechless now. I'm defending myself.
Can we talk about porn?
Sure. What's your favorite segment on Pornhub?
No. I don't understand porn.
Why not? Gay
porn makes sense to me. That's two men. Straight porn makes absolutely no sense to me.
Okay.
Because if I were to see gay porn and there's a vagina in there, I probably would not continue watching it. Straight porn is dick, 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 dick. Dick being worshipped, dick this, dick that. I've never understood it. How that, it's almost like a very subversive plot to turn you guys gay. And then
maybe that's the whole thing about the porn. Maybe that's the long game, is to turn all of the men gay.
I don't know. I've never understood it, because then somebody
You're talking about a whole new conspiracy theory that I want to probably write about. I want to study this and see if it's accurate.
Well, study this. And
porn? Then I can study porn all day.
People tell me, oh yeah, that's true. That's why I only watch lesbianism. I got some bad news for you. Lesbianism is homosexuality. Boom. No, I don't
imagine that being a Jeopardy question.
But you know what? Have you ever thought about that? It just makes no sense to me.
I don't have problems with the male anatomy, so it doesn't bother me. It's just like, yep, this is happening. This is how it works, and that just accepted that. It's a really strange way of thinking, I know, but
no, why should you have a problem with it?
Cuckolding. We're all cuckolding technically in some aspects as we're watching porn, but nobody wants to actually define it as that. Tell me I'm not wrong on that.
No, you're not wrong about that. But I've never heard this being discussed out loud with a straight man, between a gay man and a straight man talking about. I don't get porn. I really don't understand how it works for you guys. I don't.
Okay, well, just the way it works for you guys.
I don't see vaginas in my porn. Trust me, it would throw me.
Fair enough.
It would throw my aim,
Ooh, ding ding.
But bump.
Oh, you've been fun, Boris.
Yeah.
Okay, straight porn. How does it work for me? The more the merrier, and it's always interesting. And I've always been more of a free kind of orgy guy, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Have you been in an orgy?
Yes, I have.
Really?
I've been a rock star, so I've already lived that lifestyle.
If you're going to be honest,
it
was an orgy.
Oh yeah.
How does that work?
4 dudes, 5 girls. It is what it is.
And are there rules? Don't touch me, or
no? It was swingers party, fucking basic 101. You're just going and having fun.
Okay, may I ask? Have you been with a man?
Yes, I have.
Oh wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
I'm bisexual. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
And you're that open about it?
Oh yes, very much so.
Wow.
Ever since I was 21. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, and I learned a whole lot about myself at the same time. Good self-exploration back then.
We have a guest in the house, Jason Franzek, one of Orlando's best photographers, who will be your guest.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow. I'm actually taken back by your honesty and your braveness, and I think you do represent the new generation that is out there. So my point about straight porn, I'm right.
All right, boys.
I am.
I think it's all cuckolding, and I'm right too. So,
this is not about you not being right, but I mean,
this is about the understanding of the bisexual man and the gay man discussing things now.
And I am fascinated by you saying that, because I believe bisexuality will diminish as people are allowed to be more comfortable being gay. Because, there was a time when a lot of gay men said, I'm bisexual, because they wanted to have one foot in each world and not label themselves fully gay or not.
Right. I still haven't figured out every post-sexual yet.
Wait, since we're having this conversation, allow me to ask you, how does your wife feel about this? And are you not afraid your child at one point is gonna? I mean, there's a lot of dimensions to this.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. My wife has always known. I believe it was our third date where I was open and honest about it. Because I had chosen a majority at that point in my life. I was pretty much designated to women because of the kind of the thought process of men didn't always equate, because I am an alpha, like a very strong, very, I'm loud, and not many. I wasn't a very good boyfriend material to most.
I'm going to say this about you. You're loud, but I can control you.
Sure, I sure there are certain terms that would probably, like, you touch the back of my scalp and I go down like a chicken. When you put their head down and you pull their line, I become submissive.
By the way, Chris just introduced me to a term, chicken head or something like that.
Chicken head, yeah.
I have never heard of that. That was the most horrifying thing I've ever heard. No, I meant you are the type. You're the type of intelligent man that can be subdued through intelligence. When you're angry and your life is just a train wreck, and you're being an alpha just so you don't kill yourself. Because I think that's the reality of it.
There's a lot of need for dominance. Yes, right. Continuous need to be ahead.
Why do you think so many powerful men and women, when they're in their private lives, choose a bondage type of lifestyle? Because they need to be corrected at one point. They need to be submissive to somebody because they're so powerful. But I believe that there are people who, if you treat them with respect, with kindness, that's Lump, my dog, with kindness, Lump, stop it, with kindness, respect, that there's a part of us that just says, you know what, let's talk. Right. And I think you can be controlled by brilliance and intelligence.
And it's hard to come by.
It's the money shot, right? No, it's true. Listen, the only people who have managed to control me are people who can talk to me.
Right.
And this